What will the gold price be in 2024? You want to know, and I want to tell you. I have 8 predictions from 8 of the biggest financial institutions in the world, and I think you're going to like what I have to say. And we know what happens to gold will happen to silver. Gold is like the big brother to silver. Silver will follow, and very likely will follow in a more exaggerated manner, and we're talking about following to the upside. We got a lot of interesting things to talk about regarding where the precious metals prices are heading in 2024. Heck, we got a lot more good to talk about as well. Yeah, you're back in the basement. I'm glad you're back here with me. Okay, we love to talk about these precious metals. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That's all free. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I will tell you what 8 of the biggest financial institutions have to say about what to expect next year for the precious metals. Let's start out with DBS. Have you heard of them? They're a massive bank headquartered in Singapore. They have over 36,000 employees. They see the gold price going to 2,050 next year. But don't worry, basement dweller. It gets much, much better from them. Next, we have Goldman Sachs that's saying $2,133. Now, that's one of the most prestigious financial institutions in the world, Goldman Sachs. So we'll take their estimate, although I still think it could be a little bit low. Our friends at the big Dutch bank, ABN AMRO, well, they're calling for $2,000 gold next year. Look, I have Dutch ancestors from South Africa. I'm not real happy with what the Dutch are saying. But when it comes to Citi, the big, massive American bank, can you imagine what they're predicting for the gold price next year? I'm going to give you that in just 1 second. But first, I want to tell you, go check out Pimbex if you want to get your hands on some gold yourself right now, before it's maybe all gone. Silver and platinum also. Look, I've worked with them personally for over a year. I've been very happy with Pimbex. They're an online bullion dealer. Silver, gold, platinum. They always seem to have the absolute best price. And I shop around. Look, they call me Resourceful Ron for a reason. If I'm going to buy silver, I want to make sure I'm getting good quality, which I get from Pimbex, but at the best price. Because why not get as much metal as possible? All right, Citi tells us what to expect next year for the gold price. $2,175. Let's move on to Saxo Bank. Who the heck is Saxo Bank? Look, I'll be honest with you. I had to look this stuff up. Saxo Bank is a Danish bank. Does that mean Denmark? I'm horrible with geography. I'm showing you my personal side right now. Every time I hear the word Danish, I'm thinking, well, what country does that mean? And I believe it means Denmark. No offense to any of our viewers from Denmark, but Saxo Bank, maybe we should get to know these Danish people a little better. They're calling for $2,200 gold in 2024, and we're only halfway through the list. Now, if you want to get your hands on some gold in the ground, check out our other sponsor, First Mining Gold. They're a Canadian gold mining company. Actually, gold development company. They hold all the gold in the ground. They're in the exciting phase of moving projects through the permitting process. They got a little gold in the ground in Canada, like 13 million ounces of gold. Okay, so if you're not going to hold the gold in your hand, and they also have some silver as well, you might as well have it held in the ground. Mother Nature, the ultimate vault. And that's exactly what First Mining Gold has. It's a company that was started by Keith Neumeyer. You may know that name. Currently, the CEO is Dan Wilton. You can check out my channel for many interviews I've done with Dan over the years. It's a stock I've owned for years. years and years. Look, I only take sponsorships from companies that I have a vested interest in, companies that I've either owned stock in or I've done business with. So you can rest assured, both Pinbex and First Mining Gold, while I'm eating my own cooking when I'm talking about them. Let's move on to number 5. Who's Commerzbank? Commerzbank is a German bank, and they've been around for a few years, since 1870. They're probably older than you and me both, maybe even combined. Nonetheless, Commerzbank is calling for $2,075 gold next year. What about TD? Yes, that's the big American financial services company. They're calling for $2,100 gold. Now, this next one is super interesting. Livermore Partners. Who are the Livermore Partners? They're actually a United States hedge fund, right? They manage money for real wealthy people, high net worth individuals. You know, that could be you and I someday. But nonetheless, right now, Livermore Partners, sit down, and they are based in Northbrook, Illinois. They are calling for $2,500 gold next year. Where does that put the silver price? Livermore Partners didn't tell us, but I'll tell you right now, if we have $2,500 gold, then we're absolutely going to have $40 plus silver per ounce. Let me read this to you. Here's a quote from the founder of Livermore Partners. David Niehauser was on CNBC talking to Li Ying Shan, and he says that he foresees gold reaching the remarkable milestone of $2,500 by the conclusion of the upcoming year. He said, quote, 2024, guys, it's only 2 months away, is when I see gold breaking out and reaching new highs and beyond. And how many times have we talked about that? And don't worry, we got 2 more predictions to cover, but how many times, basement dwellers, have we talked about this? When gold gets above $2,100, okay, all right, that'll be a new all-time high. Everybody that's holding gold at that point will be in the profit zone. And there will be very little overhead resistance, coupled with everything else going on in the world. And what will that mean for the silver price? You can use your imagination. But when I imagine silver, when we have gold at $2,500, and somebody needs to let David Niehauser from, what's it called, Livermore Partners, know that he's $100 off. He needs to increase. Us basement dwellers are going to tell him to increase his gold forecast up to $2,600. And again, we know where silver will be. What about Wheaton Precious Metals, Randy Smallwood? They are a massive silver and gold streaming company. Well, they matched. They must be having lunch with Mr. Niehauser from Livermore Partners, because Wheaton Precious Metals also predicts a gold price in 2024 of, you guessed it, $2,500. Finally, we go down under. Down under. I've been there, Australia. Have you been to Australia? I love Australia. It was great. I like New Zealand a little better. But nonetheless, our friends in Australia at XM, okay, they're a big broker, a big respected financial service company in Australia. They're calling for $2,200 gold. We've got thousands of people watching the Ron's Basement videos. There's one who's most important. That is you. And I hope next year brings you some good feelings when it comes to the silver and gold price, because we have plenty of reasons for the precious metals prices to go up. We have major geopolitical reasons, but on top of that, the world will likely be moving into a lower interest rate environment. On top of that, we know that gold almost everywhere in the world has beaten every other asset class during 2023. I'm going to tell you about a list of countries where gold has hit new all-time highs during 2023. But before I do that, will you do me a favor? I want you to go check out, you're actually going to be doing yourself a favor when you do this. Go check out a very cool website after this video. It's called The Real Kitchen. My neighbor runs it. It's a expanding, exploding website in popularity. Why? Because it has some of the coolest recipes that you're going to find. Actually, a lot of the recipes involve the Weber seasonings, but you'd really be helping me out. I'm trying to help him out and grow this website even more. And I'm telling you, there's some cool recipes. I want you to try this bow tie pasta chip recipe. Don't ask any questions. Just try it and let me know what you think. Now, there are a growing number of countries around the world where we're seeing record level gold prices. Let me read this list to you. Australia, Japan. We know the Japanese are going crazy over gold right now. China, of course. India, the United Kingdom, and Taiwan. And I have a feeling next year we're going to add the United States of America to that list. Who knows? It could even happen in 2023 because we have gold within striking distance of a new all-time high right now. One thing I know for sure, I'm the luckiest guy in the world because you joined me here in the basement. You know, please, you're a friend. You're always welcome here, and I'm going to look forward to seeing you next time.